A tentacled creature of unknown origin destroys over 70% of the moon, and he announces that he will destroy the world in 1 year. Nonetheless, Ministry of Defense government worker Tadami Karasuma allows the creature to be the teacher of Class 3E. The students are given weapons specifically designed to hurt the creature and are offered a reward of 10 billion yen to whoever can assassinate him before graduation. It all begins in Class E3, where a seemingly depressed classroom awaits with uncertainty the arrival of their teacher. The teacher arrives in the schoolyard and the students prepare to greet him, and as soon as they see him enter the classroom, they greet him as we are taught in public school, by shooting him. However, the teacher is not only so used to this that he is able to dodge everything at superhuman speed, but while doing so, he takes the class attendance and is happy to see that no one has arrived late. This leaves the students speechless, as their teacher humiliated them again. To encourage them, he tells them that they must be original and disruptive to succeed in taking him down, and although one of them tries to excuse himself by saying that those BB guns are useless, the professor tells him that those BB guns are specially designed by the government to take him down, and does not hesitate to give him a demonstration of it. Then he wishes them luck so they can finish him off before graduation, and tells them that the class is about to start. So he asks them not to use the guns on each other. Later, while the smiling professor is teaching his class, Nagisa, the class leader, who although she looks like a waifu is a man, sees the moon and begins to remember something. A flashback reveals that a few months ago, the media put society on alert by telling them that a creature had destroyed 70% of the moon in an instant. Days later, the government gathered the students of Class 3E to introduce them to Koro, the creepy creature responsible for the destruction of the moon. One of the government agents explains to them that Koro not only destroyed the moon, but that he plans to destroy the entire Earth the following year if they fail to assassinate him. He further reveals to them that it was Koro who gave them that time frame and asked them to be the Class 3E in charge of trying to take him down. He even asked to be allowed to be the class teacher. The reward for completing the mission is 10 billion yen, as it is literally about saving the world. Back in the present, Koro-sensei sees that it is lunchtime and tells his class that he will be traveling to China to buy some tofu, so the class estimates that it will take less than 10 minutes. Nagisa can't stop thinking about how strange it all is, since Koro is an amazing teacher who was able to help them improve their grades a lot, and has even committed to being with them after class, even though they try to take him by surprise to kill him. The class is literally a bunch of losers and outcasts, and they know it, so a small group of them organize a plan to take Koro down. They know that Koro's face changes color according to his feelings, and information is more than valuable to elaborate an effective plan that has Nagisa as the protagonist. During the class, Nagisa approaches Koro as invisible as always to ask him questions related to the exam, but without him noticing that she is carrying a knife behind the blade. However, the knife was nothing more than a facade for Koro to concentrate on dodging the attack, without realizing that Nagisa was literally carrying out a kamikaze attack with a grenade in her necklace. This plan had been planned by the three who met Nagisa, as the grenade was filled with special pellets and a small pinch of gunpowder to damage Koro without causing much damage to Nagisa. However, Koro noticed everything and evaded the attack, but not before protecting Nagisa with his old skin. This infuriated him, so he threatened the students to finish off their family members if they don't stop wasting their time with questionable methods, although he ends up congratulating Nagisa for having the best attempt of the class so far. This makes Nagisa happy, as she finally feels that someone appreciates the group's effort and doesn't look down on them. Days later, while Koro was reading the newspaper in the schoolyard, Sugina and Nagisa try to take him by surprise by throwing a baseball full of special pellets at him. Logically, Koro dodges this as if it were a game and appears from behind the children, congratulating them for their excellent and stealthy plan, but that thanks to his speed, he had enough time even to go and get a baseball glove to take the ball in his hands, so Sugina gets frustrated. Later, Koro announces to the class that they will finish early, as he will be traveling to New York to watch a baseball game. During his absence, members of the Ministry of Defense take advantage of the moment to interview the students in the class for useful information, though they only believe that taking down someone capable of breaking the sound barrier is impossible. The next day, during lunch, Sugina is surprised by Koro, who not only gives him back his ball, but also congratulates him on his throw, as well as asking him if he is a member of any team. Sugino answers him that he used to be in one, but he was not a good pitcher, so he got depressed and stopped studying, which is why he was sent to Class E and can no longer join any team, due to the fact that he is forced to improve his grades. Meanwhile, Nagisa watches them through the window and goes over to see what's going on, but is left open-mouthed when she sees that Koro is using his tentacles to wrap around Sugino's body from all sides. Koro tells Sugino that he has noticed the way he imitates a professional player named Arati, but not to keep doing it, as his shoulder muscles are not as strong as Arati's, so he won't be able to be like him. He also shows them that he has gone to the match exclusively to inspect Arati with his tentacles. This bothers Nagisa, as he can see the sadness on Sugino's face. But Koro changes the expression on their faces by mentioning that Sugino has more flexible wrists and elbows than Arati, so he will be able to surpass Arati if he puts his mind to it and trains hard enough. Nagisa sees the happiness on Sugino's face and can't help but go after Koro to ask him why he is such a good teacher, to which he replies bluntly that he became his teacher because of a promise. Plus, he takes his job so seriously that he even went to New York just to use his tentacles on Arati. Days later, Nagisa sees how much Sugino has improved in his pitching, plus he's motivated not only for baseball but to succeed in taking down Koro. Meanwhile, Karasuma, one of the government agents, reports to the principal to inform him that he is about to leave for Class 3E to begin his duties as a physical education teacher. As he leaves, he sees how much the students of the elite academy despise and mock Class 3E, so he understands that this academic structure was created to encourage effort and competitiveness among the students, even though it is highly discriminatory. When Karasuma arrives at the school to introduce himself as the new gym teacher, he finds that the students are having a twisted time trying to take down Koro, and that he is enthusiastically teaching them assassination techniques. This surprises Karasuma, as it is clear that these students are truly happy learning how to assassinate their teacher. Meanwhile, the directors of the Elite Academy give one of their students confidential information about Koro, as he will be transferred to Class 3E along with all the losers. Karasuma teaches the gym class alongside Koro until he tells her that it's his duty to do it himself and without anyone's help, so Koro has no choice but to go hang out somewhere else. The students admit that it feels good to be taught by a human teacher with physical characteristics like theirs, since Koro wanted to teach them things they were unable to imitate. In addition, Karasuma shows them that he has tremendous combat skills, so the students are enthusiastic to learn. At the end of the class, Nagisa meets Karma, the new transfer student, whom he apparently already knows. Karma approaches Koro-sensei to greet him, and is greeted in a friendly manner, but Karma's greeting shatters Koro's tentacles, as he had placed anti-Koro material on his hands. Karma then begins to intimidatingly humiliate Koro, which sets his classmates' expectations sky high. So Nagisa explains that Karma was transferred to Class E because of his violent and cynical behavior. During class, the students see how much the situation affected Koro, as he is like a sad child who was punished. Karma hands in his exam and begins to eat ice cream, so Koro draws his attention to it and is furious to see that this is the ice cream that Koro brought exclusively from Italy. When he tries to take it from him, he falls into a trap set by Karma and is once again humiliated in front of the whole class. The next day, Koro arrives in class to find his students very upset. He instantly notices that there is a dead octopus on his desk, so he knows Karma is behind this. Karma tells him that he will first kill its spirit slowly until it dies inside. But Koro moves at supersonic speed and tells him that he can try all day if he wants. Literally, Koro tries to kill him over and over again in every class, but Koro not only prevents each of his attempts, but provokes him more and more. In the afternoon, Karma and Nagisa meet outside the school, and Nagisa tries to convince him that killing Koro is an impossible task, let alone if he tries to do it alone and without help. A flashback reveals that Karma was very close to one of his teachers, but Koro interrupts his memories by saying that he is eager to continue educating Karma. Upon hearing this, Karma has the most twisted and brilliant idea yet, to throw himself off the cliff for Koro to save him. As Karma fell, he began to remember the day he lost the trust and affection he felt for his favorite teacher, as he realized that the teacher didn't really appreciate him, but only took advantage of him to further boost his teaching career. However, Karma's attempt is thwarted by Koro, who saves his student without exposing himself to murder. After this, Karma realizes that Koro really cares for his students, since he risked slightly to be killed by him in order to save him. Days later, Koro goes to the store to buy some things, and on his way out, he finds some thugs harassing a waifu. Koro doesn't hesitate to help her and puts the men in their place, for which the waifu thanks her with much emotion and asks her if she knows how to get to class 3E. Later, Karasuma introduces the waifu in front of the whole class, as she will be the new foreign language teacher. Everyone in the class is left open-mouthed at the sight of her, not only because of her beauty, but because she is all over Koro, as if she is obsessed with him. Nagisa notices a new weakness in Koro. He is as human as anyone else when he is with a waifu. However, she suspects that this waifu is much more than just an English teacher. Later, his suspicions are confirmed, as the waifus meets Karasuma, and Karasuma is astonished to meet face-to-face the famous S-class assassin Irina Jelovich, who speaks more than 12 languages perfectly and is able to infiltrate the riskiest missions. After this, Irina bursts into the schoolyard to seduce Koro and ask him to bring her a coffee from Vietnam. Obviously, Koro is as sympathetic as you and me, so he leaves immediately, and the students immediately discover Irina's true identity, as she tells them that she doesn't intend to teach them anything. Moreover, she quickly demonstrates that she is not interested in anything other than fulfilling her goal, as she is not the least bit interested in fulfilling her task as a teacher. In fact, he kisses Nagisa in front of everyone and explains that he will do the same to those who have information about Koro. She then introduces her right-hand men, who are none other than the alleged stalkers from the beginning. During class, Irina literally only thinks about how to kill Koro and recalls the information Nagisa gave her about Koro, mainly the fact that Koro has an incredible sense of smell despite having no nose. The students demand attention from their teacher, but the teacher detracts them, causing anger among the youngsters. During the afternoon, the students see Koro and Irina leave the courtyard to go to the storage room, so they take the opportunity to complain about her to Karasuma. However, Karasuma tells them that she was chosen by the government thanks to her great ability. All this is explained while Irina seduces Koro very provocatively to make him slowly fall into a trap. Trying to take him by surprise, Irina's men rain a hail of bullets on Koro, but although the attack seemed to be a success, they didn't even manage to muss his hair, and Koro enjoyed humiliating the waifu, just as he does with those who try to assassinate him. The students see all this, so Irina feels even more humiliated. During the class, she detracts the students and tells them that she doesn't care one bit what is going to happen to their grades, since if they are in class 3E, it's because they are losers. After this, the students boo her and throw things at her to make her quit. Karasuma sees this and tries to make Irina reflect by taking her to the schoolyard to see how dedicated Koro is to his work, as he literally takes the time to write exams according to each student's strengths and weaknesses to empower them more and more. He also shows her how much fun the students are having during gym class, as well as getting stronger and stronger in their skills. Irina reflects, and the next day she gives her best in her classes, apologizing to her students and committing herself to teach them not only to speak English, but to learn any language through seduction, which leaves the students bewildered. A few days later, the students of Class 3E learn to extract and distill colors with Koro-sensei, but Okuda surprises the entire class by asking their teacher to please consume the poisons she prepared with dedication. Against all the students' odds, Koro agrees and takes each of the poisons without suffering severe consequences. To encourage the shy girl, Koro asks her to stay after class to make a poison that can kill him, and she takes advantage of the class to explain that it is not easy for her to socialize with others, let alone kill someone. So Koro gives her an exact recipe to make a deadly poison for him. The next day, Okuda comes to class with great enthusiasm and explains to his classmates everything that happened the day before. Okuda gives the concoction to his teacher, and he takes it without any problems. But contrary to what everyone expected, Koro acquires a new power and is able to change his state. After this, he tells Okuda that she will be an incredible scientist in the future, but for that she must learn to express herself in words in the best possible way, and she must not allow anyone to take advantage of her naivety and kindness. Days later, the students of Class 3E leave the school to begin a long trek through the forest. An animation tells that Class 3E is so far away from the city to avoid affecting the performance of the best students. Once a month, they must descend from the mountain, overcoming various adversities to reach the elite academy and witness an assembly where they are looked down upon, as they have discovered that people develop more when they have someone to trample on. Despite all the attempts to belittle the students of Class 3E, they don't even flinch. On the contrary, they enjoy themselves. In fact, the happiness of Class 3E makes the elite students uncomfortable and makes them envious, as everyone is very attractive in Class 3E, even the teachers. At the end of the assembly, a group of students try to bully Nagisa, but Nagisa leaves them in check by responding to them in an intimidating manner. Meanwhile, an academy manager watches from above in disgust, as he is not pleased that his most promising students are feeling envious of a group of failures. Upon returning to school, Koro multiplies his teaching efforts 1,000-fold, moving at such an incredible speed that he seems to be able to have a clone to teach each of his students one-on-one. At the end of class, Koro returns to the teacher's lounge and meets Gakuho Asuno, the academy's principal. Karasuma introduces the principal with much respect, but the principal immediately begins to intimidate Koro by explaining that he does not intend to dissolve the E-class, since with that structure he ensures that the students are highly effective. So he tries to explain his point of view with an analogy about ants. Before leaving, he explicitly tells Koro that he wants the E-class to continue to have lousy grades, since in order for 95% of the students to be elite, it is necessary for 5% to be mediocre and despised. The next day, Koro tries even harder to teach and moves at an absurd speed, even falling to the ground dead from exhaustion. But when he hears one of his students mention that it is ridiculous to try so hard for a couple of losers, he becomes enraged and asks them all to go out to the courtyard. Once there, he asks Irina and Karasuma to explain if everything always goes as planned when they do their work. All this is to make the students understand that they cannot settle for the idea of getting paid 10 million yen for killing him and never having to do anything again, as that plan may turn out badly for them and they will have no plan B on which to persevere. Furthermore, he threatens to quit teaching if they are not able to make it into the top 50, as this way they will be promoted and shut the mouths of all those who underestimated them. The next day, the students of Class E make their best efforts during the exams, but these are really difficult, as they are designed to fail,